What's up, agents? Jetforth here, and here is my first build for Warlords and Title Update 8. And yes, it is a hardwired skill build as promised. Now, as you are listening to me babble for the next minute or two, when you're watching the gameplay in the background, make sure you notice that this is on Heroic and Solo, and I am only Shade Tech level 2. Basically, how this all happened is that I finished the campaign and then I crafted Hardwired and threw it on and played on hard for a little bit and then immediately went into doing heroic stuff in the open world. This is very viable. It is very powerful. Unfortunately, me being me, I was using it a little bit wrong in this gameplay. But essentially what Hardwired is doing now with the new feedback loop, it's giving you 10-second cooldowns on everything. Actually, a little bit more. Now, once you get your build mid-maxed a little bit or a lot of bit, you can switch from turret to using the sticky bomb and seekers or whatever skills you want. So the basics of it is that you throw out a skill, it resets your other skill, and vice versa. So the way I should be using this is that I should throw out my seekers, let them blow up, set down my turret, giving me back my seekers, and then throwing out my seekers again. Then waiting for 10 seconds, deconstruct my turret, then throw out my seekers again, and then continue rotating like that. Now, as for the build that you are seeing right now, it is a lot more mid-maxed since I got this gameplay. So I do have some god rolls, but that is because on last night's stream and previous to the stream, my friends and I were running around doing heroic stuff all day, and that's pretty much the easiest way to start getting yourself really boosted up and start getting god tiered roll gear and whatnot. So I suppose that's enough with all the chit chat. Like, comment, subscribe, blah 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 blah, and let's just get into the build, shall we? Alrighty, for our specialization, we will be using the Demolitionist, mainly for the plus 10% explosive damage. Man, it is just a travesty that they brought that down from 25%, man. The old thunk tube definitely does not do what it used to do, and it's a bummer. But either way, you win some, you lose some, and then pretty much everything else with this specialization did not change. For the most part, everything is still the same. As for my primary weapon, I am using a tactical MK16. Now, the clan vendor, level 30, is selling this right now. I would suggest picking maybe a couple of them up and extracting everything off of it, or just use it, or I don't know, you know what I'm trying to say. Total damage is 64.5 thousand for me. RPMs is 625 and a 50 mag size. Core attributes, 15% assault rifle damage, which is god rolled, plus 9% health damage, and then regular attributes is plus 13% optimal range. This wonderful weapon comes with Optimist. Weapon damage is increased by plus 3% for every 10% ammo missing from the magazine. For my secondary weapon, I'm using a police MK17. Why? I just didn't have anything else better to use at the moment. I'll probably end up putting a sniper here, most likely. This beauty comes with 160.1k total damage, 275 RPM, and a 30 mag size. Core attributes, plus 6% rifle damage, which apparently I can roll stuff on. I do like this new system a little bit, how they show this stuff. Alright, I'm shouting up. Plus 5% critical hit damage, and regular attribute is plus 4% damage to targets out of cover. The one and only wonderful talent that comes on here is Preservation. Killing an enemy or repairs 10% armor over 5 seconds. Headshot kills improve the repair by an additional 10%. And finally, my sidearm, which I went with a wonderful double-barreled sawed-off. 661.5k damage, 200 RPM, and a plus 2 mag size. Core attributes, plus 6% shotgun damage, plus 5% damage to armor, regular attribute, plus 5.5 magazine size. Which is odd for this, because I don't think you're getting over 2 shots out of it. Anyways, for my talent, I am using Pummel. 3 consecutive kills refills the magazine and grants plus 40% weapon damage for 10 seconds. Also, not the greatest talent in the world for double-barreled shotguns, but I'm still in the leveling up process. Probably should just use the Demolitionist specialization sidearm, because since we don't have any more holster talents or active talents on our stuff anymore, I guess it really doesn't matter all that much what we use. On to armor. Let's start with the mask, which will be our first piece of hardwired, giving us the plus 1 skill tier, and as for my attribute, it is plus 4.9 skill damage. Unfortunately, since my mask menus won't load, we have to do it this way in the recalibration calibration station. I apologize. Next up, we have the chess piece, which is our second piece of HardWired. 2 pieces of HardWired gives you plus 15% skill haste. 3 pieces of HardWired gives you plus 15% skill damage and plus 15% repair skills, which just means your heals and all that, so plus 15% to that. And the most important part is a feedback loop. Whenever you use or cancel a skill, your other skill is automatically refreshed and increases total skill damage and repair by 10% for 20 seconds. This can occur at most once per 20 seconds, but these numbers are changing because of the talents that come on it. It'll be 25% for 10 seconds. Core attribute, plus 1 skill tier. Irregular attributes, 11.4% skill haste and plus 7% skill haste. It's nice that you can actually stack those. Now for the talent, which is positive reinforcement, increases feedback loop skill damage and repair bonus from 10% to 25%. Next, we're going to do this a little different and skip to the backpack. Blah, blah, blah. HardWired does a bunch of stuff and things. Once again, core attribute, plus 1 skill tier. Regular attribute, a plus 3.6% skill damage and a plus a 9.4% skill haste. Talent, short circuit, decrease feedback loop cooldown from 20 seconds to 10 seconds. So again, this is giving us a 25% damage and repair and then a 10-second cooldown instead of the 20 seconds. So pretty straightforward, I think. And we might as well finish off the HardWired section of this build video with the gloves, giving us our 4th skill tier for our core attribute. And then my regular attribute is plus a 12% skill haste, which is God rolled. But again, in the beginning footage and when I started heroic, these were all at like 2 skill haste, so you will be fine, trust me. Just get out there and start farming. And that's it for the HardWired section of this video. As for the holster, on this glorious build, we went with a Wyvern wear for the plus a 10% skill damage, our 5th skill tier. As for my attributes, it is plus a 12% skill haste, a God rolled, and then a plus 5.9% status effects, which isn't really needed. However, if you do decide to go with, say, the incendiary sticky bomb, that would be a good roll to have. And that's it for the holster. And finally, we have the knee pads, which I went with a set of China Light Industries for the plus 15% explosive damage and our final core attribute for our 6+ skill tiers. Attributes 8.9% skill haste and then plus 5.6% hazard protection, both really low. Looks like I can do better on one of those. It's kind of weird recording this and with this new build system. I'm always ready to say more, but that's just it. Sorry. And as for my skills, I'm just using the regular assault turret and then cluster seeker mines. There really isn't a whole lot of point in me going over the actual mods that I have on them. Most of all the mods that I had are just absolutely destroyed now. They all went into like +1 mortar and stuff that I really can't use. I got like +2% damage here and +1 seeker mine and stuff like that. I'm sure your guys's are the same, so throw any mod on them that you can. Relatively, all of our damage has been flatlined, so I'm sure yours is going to be pretty much the same as mine is going to be. I mean, really, the entire game is kind of like that now. It's all pretty flatlined. I don't know. I haven't been into DZ or anything to see how well it's balanced, but from some of the people that I have talked to, you can pretty much go in there with anything and everybody's gonna feel about the same. So I don't know. It's pretty interesting, I guess. But either way, I am still trying to get used to this new building system. I am still trying to get my shade levels up and everything and find everything and do stuff and whatnot. So hopefully this build does help some of my fellow skill builders and even anybody else if you're having any trouble with the game whatsoever, because I was able to jump immediately into heroic with this and start being able to take out stuff. Now there are things to keep in mind while you're playing too, as well as that the scaling system, like when players join you, is way off. Like you can go out there and solo stuff by yourself on heroic and I wouldn't say it's a cakewalk, but as soon as you get 4 players in with you, you would think that it would be a bit easier even though it scales, but as soon as you add that 4th player, it just like goes through the roof. I don't know, it's insane, but They do have a lot of fixing that needs to happen in this game. Like a lot. I'm sure you guys know. We all knew this was coming too. All the bugs and glitches and everything that was going to come with this. And as much as all of us, I'm sure, wanted a PTS, it's just, in all honesty, I'm kind of glad they didn't, because then, you know, all of us would have known all of this already anyways. So I have spoken my piece on that. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comment section down below. Even if it doesn't pertain to the build or you're curious about other stuff, I'll do my best to answer it. You know, I have been playing this for like 20 hours a day since it released early. And yeah, that's about all I got. I'm not sure about streaming and stuff. I will probably do more as we go along. So I guess ring notification bell if you want. I don't generally try to ask this stuff a million times, but that's a good way to ask questions and get questions answered and stuff. But yeah, that's it for me for now. I'd definitely say go ahead and throw this together and give it a shot. Like I said, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below and all that junk and stuff and anything that's on your mind. I am always curious. Do me a favor and hit that old like button for me. It'd be super amazing. Subscribe and all that other junk, and I will catch you all on the flip side. Peace!